Hi everyone, I hope you're good guys and welcome for a new video. So I've just dropped a new Operator Techno Bank and today I wanted to talk to you about it, what is inside, and give you as well a couple of tips with Operator. I have especially one tips that basically transform your operator in a kind of Moog Sub 37 if you kind of like this kind of very smooth subby kind of sound. So yeah, stay tuned. Alright, so first maybe let's have a listen quickly to the demo to see what kind of stuff you can get inside. So I've kind of tried to separate between three techno genres. First part is more industrial, as you can see, but then after you jump into more like big time techno here. With some acid sound. More classic chords. Like detune synth as well. More acid. And then you have like more melodic kind of deep techno sound as well. Alright, so that gives you an idea more or less what you're gonna find inside it. And let's dig into the pack. So basically for this one I've made 135 presets. I wanted to do less, to be honest, but I was just keeping adding some and I was like, okay, I need this kind of sound, I need this kind of sound. And on the end I finished with 135 presets. So all presets come in the dry version, which basically means it's like the operator by itself. Rather than most of them, they come into an instrument rack with a lot of effect, and you have as well macro assigned to make easier for you to play with or to make your own. Or so yeah, basically you see you have this kind of, this is the raw operator preset, and then after it's with all of the effect. So obviously here you have an arpeggiator as well, so that's why it's playing differently there and there, but yeah, you get the idea. You have, like I said, 8 macro. Really shape it quickly, and it's not all of the rack who got 8 macro, it depends, but most of the time, yeah, I try to put as much as I can to really let you make your own preset just by using the macro, and as well experimenting with some of the effect and the macro, for example the delay, or play with the decay, the filter. So yeah, as you can see, all the presets come with MIDI file. It's mainly to give you an idea how the preset work, but if you want to listen quickly to all of the presets, I recommend you to go to the audio loops, and you can easily basically have a listen of all of the presets, how they sound. You have chords, you have key, you have pads, SFX, synth, you have all of this kind of sensory, and yeah, that's a quick way to have a listen to how does it sound. Good thing I recommend with the MIDI is, for example, to swap MIDI notes between one of the presets. For example, for this beat preset, instead of using this one, you can maybe try with other. Let me bring it back how it was initially. you can try different kind of MIDI with different kind of preset. That's a really great way to experiment and get different kind of tone. And then so this time I included as well drum kits, because basically the thing what happened last time is for the demo I used drums in the demo and people wanted to have the drum as well, and I said okay, this time it can be great if I add the drum kit. And so basically the drum I use in the demo or the drums that you can find in this drum kit is basic, very minimalist drum kits. You can see I've divided into a techno genre. You have industrial, melodic, and peak time, and inside each one you just have like cloud hi-hat, open hi-hat loop, and kick. So each sample comes as a loop or as a one shot, and goes the same for all of. So yeah, that's great, because like this you don't ever need anything else. You can basically start to make a sound with all of what is inside the pack itself. Alright, so let's have a listen about different kind of presets, and I will give along tips depending on which preset. So you've got this one with listen, you've got this one. So don't hesitate to play with the macro. Here, for example, with the operate in combination with the filter. You have this one. So you can add a bit more crunch, add a bit more of the tune, change the up style. So yeah, really, you see with the macro you can really easily add variation, or sometimes even there is a macro who completely change the tone of your sound. Then you have this one, which is so here it's interesting. So that's one of the presets when I was saying sounding like a mood, is I found out that when you use the shaper in hard mode but you put negative value, it kind of basically it's not sound like exactly like a Moog Sub 37, but I will show you as well later with the bass. It's kind of really giving more, I don't know. This is without. And I don't know, that if you're into melodic techno, and this kind of trick is really nice. I mean, even if you are, it works as well with bassline, with any kind of sound. It's kind of making it beefier, but without distorting it too much. I don't know, it's just work well. That's one thing I've discovered when I was doing the preset bank, and I wanted to share with you because it's really cool, and it's worked very well as well with the bass. If I go on the hungry bass, it's kind of very moogy bass. If I remove the I don't know, I just love how does it sound. Alright, so let's don't escape too much. Let's go to the so you see here when you have usually for example, here is a good way to add modulation along your track without really changing the tone of your sound. And for example, to automate it slowly with a LFO. By the way, if you want a lot of small tips about how to make your own preset or slightly change a preset, I've made a series of short techno tips that I've made for Wavetable basically, but obviously all the tips apply for any kind of synth, and it's kind of FM kind of effect, detune, or kind of vibrato, tremolo with the LFO, all this kind of little detail that can really make your preset sounds different from the original one if you really want to make your own. And then you have this one, I think is this. I don't know, here I use the shape of yeah, this kind of, now if you want something more trancy. So I've had a couple of trancy stuff as well, because it's very trendy on the last time, so you can find. And yeah, let's try now some bass. Very moogie bass. You have bounce, which you have this one, more aggressive. Kind of bass. Actually was this midi, but yeah. Hungry with Synth, this one. You have pass up. So this is kind of a recorded patch. Always very important to kind of modulate this kind of acid stuff. Then you have round, which sound like maybe if you're into hypnotic techno. Obviously, like one thing as well, which is can be interesting when you have a bass preset. A good way to make it original is using as a key, for example, so playing high note, because basically this preset have been designed to play more in the lower note, but obviously if you play in the higher note, and you can even take the midi and this bring it few octave upper. And yeah, get different and get a key kind of preset. And then we have Taiga. So this, if you recognize, this Joaquin Pastor kind of preset. You have Ximo. So here you can see you have a Figbar macro. That's a good way to quickly change. That's a tip I can give you as well with Operator, is to play with this feedback macro here. So basically to be able to use that, you need to have the oscillator like not modulated by any other oscillator. So for example with this algorithm, or in this one you can use as well the A and B. And that's a good way to as well quickly change the tone of your sound, changing the phase as well, like having, especially with square but with sawtooth as well. So yeah, experimenting with feedback phase is really nice. You can even go further and add some LFO to modulate it, and it's even better. It's what I've done basically of my hypnotic bass rack that I've shared on my channel already. And then, so this time I included a bit more chords. This kind of classic. So here is kind of classic, but if you are more into dub stuff, I have this dub filter here, so which is basically an auto filter with a band pass, and you get this instant kind of dub techno chord. So obviously maybe play it slower, but maybe a bit more. And this you automate with different value at different chord, and you get really nice kind of. This is this kind of moody vibe. You have this, which is like, call it Gypsy because it's one of the track. I don't remember exactly the name, but it's this kind of vibes, summer vibes. And speaking of summer, you got this one as well. This kind of with this pitch modulation at the beginning. And I have this one as well, Trancy. So that can work as well for melodic techno. And let's jump into the key. We have this. Play with the decay and release, which can be really great during the break. You can, if you want more weird tone, you have this tone value. You had some vibrato. Yeah. You have this one, breath. Dream, so just kind of glitch you, stuff you up. This. You have. One thing I haven't said as well, which is great with Operator, is obviously changing the algorithm, and you can get a really different kind of tone. So that really depends on the preset, obviously, and how many oscillator you use. But for example, if here I bring it up a little bit here, and this one. Sorry about that. That's a great way as well to kind of quickly make your own from a preset. Kind of basic, like kind of weird. It's like a classic sine wave, but you can hear there is this slight pitch modulation which gives a dramatic effect. More kind of weird stuff. Then you have some pad. So you have this one, which is. This one is a bit different than the other. I use this grain delay effect to get this granular. Weird effect. You have. I'm not gonna show them all, but. Some who are a bit more weirder than other, obviously. Open this one. Alright, you have this. I had some SFX as well. So here again, experiment with the macro to kind of shape your own. You have mount. Raska. And you have teal. Yeah, trial. Alright, then let's go with the Synth. You have this kind of super Synth. You have this kind of 80 sounds. So you probably recognize from what I got inspired. And I've made the second version, that's why I renamed it Add-on 2. Which is kind of more brassy. It's kind of Juno 106 kind of sound. You have this bass stop as well, kind of like you make kind of stuff. Classic dunk. Never have enough of this kind of sound. This kind of squeaky effect, like a bit like Synth having one of his track, but always very powerful, this kind of stuff. More detune glidey sound. Disturb. Alright, this is into distorted sound. Again, super slow. So that can be used as well as a drone or as a bass line, obviously. You have Punish. This one I love it. This is kind of acid glidey. And then you have some acid, small acid sound, or like classic acid sound. Or like a soy acid. I can always control the glide, you know, for this kind of acid sound. And you have Urge. And yeah, this kind of sound as well. And then I have two texture sound, which is kind of like a weird classic sound. Alright, and I think that's enough for today. I show you more or less half of the preset. So I hope guys you will enjoy this new preset bank. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Link in the description if you wanna support me and buy it. And see you soon, guys. Bye bye.